There is too much action, changes must be made. Your turn. Changes must be made. There is too much action, changes must be made. Looking for reaction, changes must be made.
I'm with Pete Watts, the drummer from Rift, and I heard that Rift was the most famous band in Horsham.
I don't think we're the most famous band, but
Infamous?
Certainly a very had a lot longevity, I guess, with the guys. It lasted quite a long time, and I was only really at the end of all that, so I missed pretty much the first half. But
well, the boys were saying originally they started when they were about 13 or 14. So when did you, or how old were they?
Well, I started playing in a band from 11 years old.
Did you? What was that band
In another band called Disco Beat.
Fantastic.
And when I went to university, I stopped that band, and then Dean Boyd rang me up and said, do you want to come play for Rift? I thought, well, I knew the guys, and I thought, fantastic.
So you were a Horsham boy?
Yeah, I knew those guys.
You knew them?
In fact, I had a couple of, actually played a couple of fill-in shows with them.
So what happened to their original drummer, the guy next door?
Well, they actually had a few drummers,
Oh, really?
but I was the last one.
Did you ever have a go at the original songs? Did you ever sort of think...
Well, we did. We had a crack at some original songs way back in the early days out at Keaty's farm, and we wrote 4 or 5 songs over a couple of nights and had a lot of fun doing that. And we actually took those songs into a recording studio at Redwood Studios in Ballarat, and we recorded them properly. We still laugh at them to this day, and we played a few of those for quite a while, right up to the last days. A couple of them we played, and but of course they're pretty much 80s songs. And
are you going to do them at the reunion?
You wouldn't want to hear them now. Oh, look, I think we might try and resurrect a couple of those songs and try and bring them into this century.
You should. Okay, so the reunion, you're one of the major organisers as well?
Yeah, no, I designed the logo for the event for Linton Brown, and that's going on all the website and T-shirts and whatever. So I've been involved in talking to him, and as far as the graphic design side of things, which I'm a graphic designer, I've been involved in that part of it. I'm not on the committee because I live in Melbourne, and so we talk now and then about things like that.
Yeah, it's going to be big, I think, isn't it?
I think it's going to be great. And
any idea of? I think the boys were saying 30 bands. They're expecting around about 30 bands.
Well, he could put 100 bands together if he wanted to. But yeah. Look, there's 15 bands is going to be probably a cut-off. It's going to be hard to try and get 15 bands to play at that many venues in Horsham. There are not a lot of venues. So.
How long have you been down here in Melbourne?
Oh, I was here when I was 17.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to Ballarat Uni, and that's where I joined up with the boys in Rift, and then lived in Melbourne as I was playing with Rift.
Did you? Mm. So you would travel up there for the gigs?
Well, at some stage we had Dean Boyd living in Wangaratta, Dave living in Ararat, Keaty in Horsham, myself in Melbourne, and I think Mick was in Horsham as well. So we used to travel an enormous amount of miles to get together. And then when you got to get together and you've got to play a show in Wangaratta on a Friday night, then drive right down to Warrnambool and play on the Saturday night, it was a massive amount of travelling and time, but it was all fun. It was like,
that's amazing dedication, you know. You wouldn't get that now.
Oh, it was just great fun back then. We didn't worry about it.
Mick Finn. I'm calling him Mickey Finn.
Yes.
As in a Mickey Finn?
Yes.
Mick, what year did you join?
It was about 1983.
So was it the fact that, from what I can gather from Pete, Rift had started to become so popular that you just had so many gigs, you decided to expand? Or they decided to expand?
They wanted to expand.
Bigger?
Yeah, they wanted to expand. They also wanted to broaden their sound, hence keyboards come along. So before that they were just a guitar
band.
Only.
Yeah. So of course that then also allows you to do so much more, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Different styles of music.
Yes.
Especially if you... And I guess also, apart from just like the keyboard sound, Was that the sort of beginning to of starting to use the little synthy sort of things, or was it a bit before that?
It was around about the time when you had the bands like In Excesses, you had the My Sexes, who
And they were starting to use the
sequences
and
yes,
stuff, yeah. So it really opened up. So you a Horsham boy as well?
No, originally from Ararat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Fantastic. So it was not very far away. How did they find you?
I was going to college at the time down in Ballarat studying grade 5 classical piano.
Oh.
And I was also playing in another band called Indoor Plants in Horsham at the time. And yeah, so they poached me.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're serious muso?
Yes.
Okay, so you were poached. Now, how was it going into the... I was just saying to Pete Keat, it must have been hard to go into a little unit that was sort of... The boys had been together for so long. How was it for you to actually go in? Were you young?
Yes, well, yeah, 20, I think it was 20 at the time actually,
okay.
Yeah, so still pretty young. And
to go into such a sort of tight unit, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty tight. It was good because I always liked to have the best of everything as in music-wise type of thing. So, and to go into a tight unit was really good. And as I said before, you know, it just broadened the whole band out a lot more. Yeah.
And of course, they had a lot of work too.
They did, yes. All over Victoria. The previous band with the Indoor Plants that I played with were just mainly around Horsham, the local Horsham area, whereas Rift were all over Victoria and travelled as far as Deniliquin.
Yeah. So they were, they did really well.
They did, yes.
So obviously for you, it was if you wanted to be a professional muso. Was that what everyone was doing then? I didn't ask the boys whether they were all...
No, we all had day jobs, and
Day jobs.
a few of us were still going to college at the time. But, look, at the end of the day, we all would have loved to have been rock stars, but didn't happen that way, so we all got day jobs. And
Yes, we all would have loved to have been rock stars.
yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun for you guys.
It is actually, yeah. Even Dave and I, we still play together in a little three-piece band as well, so...
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereabouts?
Mainly around the Wimmera, Horsham area, yeah.
And it's called?
Squashed Frogs.